Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body. But actually, the living entity is eternal. He is not born. And in spite of his being situated in a material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material bodies does not entangle him. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Shilakya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarupyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayavacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaisnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the verse again. Just Anatitvan Nirgunatvat Paramatmayam Avyaya Sarirastopi Kauntiya Nat Karuti Nalipyati. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. So we can wonder, I think everyone wonders, how is it possible that I am actually a pure spirit soul and I have nothing to do with all the activities that I am actually performing day to day. Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad-gītā elsewhere, in the 4th chapter, that everyone who are born into this material world is overcome by the dualities of desire and hatred. Desire and hatred, that is very strong words, but that actually means that when we leave the spiritual realm of eternity, bliss, and knowledge in a transcendental, ecstatic relationship with the Supreme Lord, who is the reservoir of all good qualities, beautiful qualities, we leave that association in order to compete with the Lord, in order to become the supreme controller and the supreme enjoyer. Then Krishna arranges millions and billions of material universes, and we are here in one of them. So Krishna is saying that overcome by desire and hatred, all living entities are born into this material world. And this material world is also known as Maya, which also means mercy. So all the this class today, I have named it that obstacles is not an impediment, or it is not a bad thing. Because obstacles, that challenges that we each face in day-to-day life, is simply very It is genuinely and uniquely constructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in the heart of each and every one of us. Krishna is saying that Ishvara sarva bhutanam rejishir junachistati samuham sarva bhutanam yantra rudani mayaya. Krishna is saying that as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am situated in the heart of all living entities, and I am directing the wanderings, how they take birth, where do you take birth, why do you take birth from that family, in that family, and what are you supposed to experience of good and bad results in this life from your activities in your past life. So it is not when something happens to us that we do not understand, that we do not appreciate, we can say, that we feel, why does this happen to me? Yeah. Then we have to understand that not a blade of grass is moving in this world without the sanction of the Lord. And whatever action we go through, we have actually created that reaction ourselves. But now, it is not that we then have to suffer unlimited karmic activities, reactions from previous millions of births in this life, because Krishna is giving us all hope. He is saying that yagyal chat kalma nonyatra lokoyam kalma bandanaha, that work has to be performed as a sacrifice to Vishnu. Otherwise, works binds us in this material world. So, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties as an offering to him, and in this way, remain free from bondage. So what we can do, even if we come late to Krishna consciousness, we can still try our best to apply this process of devotional service. There is a yoga ladder, which is the next verse, describing how we have to develop divine qualities and free ourselves from this entanglement in this material world. Oh, yeah. Okay, so so here we have the Krishna is saying in this verse that humility, that is 13th chapter, text 8 to 12, that these qualities that you see up there, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with wife, children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness, and admit pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So you see, this process that you see up here these qualities that we see here that Krishna is speaking about, pridelessness, humility, accepting a spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, to be detached and see the evil and the distress in birth, death, old age, and disease. Now, many of you are so young, so you probably don't think much about the upcoming death, but I think that most of us, we have parents or grandparents that passed away. And that is always a very sad situation, because even though in Ghana, in Africa, where I have been now for 2 years, we just had the passing away of Maharaj Santanu. Maharaj Santanu, his two grandchildren, Bhumapati Prabhu and Surya Narayan Prabhu, these two young devotees, they are brothers, and they are our head pujaris in our temple. And they are so steady in their deity worship. And Maharaj Santanu, he was 99 years old, the oldest devotee in the world. And not only could he remain a devotee throughout his life, but his wife and his children and his grandchildren, everyone he made a sincere devotee. And these two brothers who are on the altar, they are just 20, 22 years old. And one day I was asking one of them, do you know a good Sankirtan spot in the city where we can distribute books, my husband and me, where there are tons of people and people have a little money? And then he said, because the temple is situated 1 hour drive from the capital in a village. And he looked at me and he said, no, Mataji, I don't know such a place. I said, Bhuvana, you have been here for 10 years. You don't know a place where we can do book distribution, where there are lots of people coming, where they don't have only, 2 crowns for vegetables. He said, Mataji, I don't go much to the city, so I cannot really recommend a good place. Please ask somebody else. So that is how these two brothers, they are. If they go somewhere, they visit their home place, their hometown, which is up in the mountain. And where Maharaj Santanu, I just happened to see that elderly gentleman, devotee, last year, and he was crawling into the temple room on his knees. He had a room at the temple, and I saw him going inside and offering obeisances to Sri Sri Guanichai. So Bhuvanapati, this young pujari, he said to me, my grandfather, he took good care of us. I simply dare not to look left or right. Nobody in our family dare to do nonsense because of him. So another time, I heard from a spiritual leader that we should look around. We can look around when we are 86 years old, yeah? And then we can see who is still hanging around, who is still here, yeah? To see who is a devotee. So I'm saying this because it's very, very important to just remain somehow or other in Krishna consciousness. Now, this detachment from wife, children, and home and the rest, that does not mean that we should not have affection for our family members. We should engage our family members in the process of reading Bhagavad-gītā and Srimad Bhagavatam, in chanting Hare Krishna. And we can also offer whatever we eat, whatever when we go to do shopping, we can come home, we can have a little older pictures of Krishna or a little deity, of the deities of Krishna or Sri Sri Gauranitai or Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. And then whatever we buy, we come home and then we rinse it, we wash it in water. Then we have a little plate, clean plate, Krishna's plate. And then we just say a little mantra, or we just say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And in this way, we show gratefulness for the prasadam that is on our table today. And so the ones who have such a family, they naturally don't need to take sannyas, because that is everything in the house has already been dovetailed with Krishna consciousness. One time, Lord Chaitanya, which we have here on our altar, he appeared in Bengal 500 years ago, and at one time he was touring South India for 8 years. He was traveling all over South India and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and millions of people were following him. And at one point, he came to one city in South India where there was Kurma Brahmana, a nice Brahmana, sincere devotee staying in that place. And Lord Chaitanya accepted lunch in his house. And after lunch, the Kurma Brahmana, he said, "My dear Lord, I cannot stay here in this family anymore. I just want, please accept me as your servant. Please let me also travel with you and go on Harinam day and night with Lord Chaitanya and give up that boring family," he thought. But what did Lord Chaitanya advise him? Lord Chaitanya said, "My dear Brahmana Kurma, please stay here in this house, in your home, and every morning you read a little from the Bhagavad-gītā, Bhagavatam in the morning, you read a little from Bhagavad-gītā, you chant Hare Krishna, and you have a little deity. In this way, you will never be separated from me. You will never be separated from me." Srila Prabhupada, we know, he left India in a very advanced age. He left Vrindavan. And then he went to the US in a very, actually it was very dirty. In the US, he went to the Bowery, which was all the hippies and rockheads, and people were very, very, very degraded. They were living actually lower than animals. They just had a lot of drugs and irregulated lives. And in the night, these thousands of young people, they would give up their studies and they would just give up the normal establishment, and they were wandering the streets all over the US. They were looking for some alternative to materialism, but they couldn't find it. And all the different yoga clubs and ashrams and different churches, they couldn't understand what it was all about. They couldn't find any purity. They couldn't find a really alternative where they could give their heart and soul and actually become spiritual. So they took LSD and different drugs to get a so-called transcendental experience. And we all know that with drugs, with alcohol, with everything, material stimulations, it gives you a peak, and then the next day you wake up and you wish that you never did it, right? Because your head is just hurting like anything. So when these young people came to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was up whole night, because we know Prabhupada went to bed at 10 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock every day, every single day, Prabhupada woke up at 1 o'clock, and he would translate his beautiful Bhagavatam for every single day in the morning hours when everyone else was sleeping. Prabhupada was translating. So when these young people who were loitering in the streets and without shelter, when they heard about the Bauri, that a Swami has come from India, and he is having this mantra. Mantra means free the mind. He has this mantra music from India, and let's go and check him out. The Swami soon became the popular name in town, at the Lower East Side. So Srila Prabhupada, he told these young people that if you want to realize your spiritual soul and that you are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that you are equal with the Lord in quality, but different in quantity, just like you have a gold mine, and you take a gold ring. The ring is very small compared to the gold mine. But qualitatively, all of us, we are also full of knowledge, we are eternal, and we are full of ever-increasing pleasure, just like Krishna. But as stated before, we have become entangled within this material world and being covered over. So Prabhupada said to them, if you want to realize your eternal nature, you have to stop taking all these drugs, alcohol, even coffee and tea. And in order for you to develop your sensitivity and empathy and be able to see the living spirit soul in the animals also, you have to stop eating them. And Prabhupada said that gambling creates so much trouble and so much anxiety in the mind, gambling. I know once my father gambled once in his life. He was gambling on a bird. And in the end, there were 2 birds here in Denmark flying over north of Sjælland and down south. And my father's bird was just near the end. Another bird also came. There were 2 birds. And somebody offered my father a lot of money for his lottery. And I said to my dad, sell it, at least it's safe. We get a lot of extra money. Please sell the lottery. My father said, no, let us see what happens. Our bird lost. And the whole night we were just praying to God, that please our birds will win. So this kind of anxiety where you gamble on something, it creates so much anxiety, and that you cannot hear. When you are in anxiety, you cannot hear the Hare Krishna mantra properly. You will wake up in the morning, you have put your money on the stock market. The first thing, you wake up in the morning, and then you open your phone with shaky hands, the phone. And then you kill yourself, or you go, yoo-hoo, And most people, it is a survey that most people who have won in the lottery, they use the money so fast because this money was not earned as a sacrifice to Vishnu, right? It was Krishna has created the Varnashrama Dharma system with the 4 social orders and the 4 orders of spiritual life. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, and then the Sudras, the Vaishyas and the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas. So these orders of life is created by Lord Krishna so that we can ascertain by the help of a spiritual master, where do we fit in? Also, if the spiritual master is not available just to us every day, we can go to our temple authorities and ask them to kindly engage us in devotional service. And I must say that it has been very nice here for me the last 10 days here in the temple. One day, anyhow, I see so many of you coming to the temple. And one day I saw one Mataji I had never seen before. She was making the vases for the deities and Srila Prabhupada. Her husband was in the kitchen making the Mangalarti sweets we offer with pure milk products every morning on the altar. And one devotee, I will not mention names, but is cleaning the temple room daily. And so many different of you. Now we have a kitchen team today, which was different than last Sunday. And to see all of these smiling, happy faces put up by our enthusiastic temple commander, who is very capable, Achyuta Lila Mataji Ki Jai. So, like that, we all get an opportunity to engage in devotional service according to our abilities, according to our time. So we also have a program. You all know that if we are busy small bees working whole day to maintain our families and help the household, that is all very, very wonderful. And try your best to make your home a temple with offering the food you eat and chant Hare Krishna and read one of these books from Srila Prabhupada, because we know that Srila Prabhupada's books are very easy to understand. That is why Srila Prabhupada used 12 years. Is it already over? Oh, I didn't start yet.